In 1950, Capitol Records quietly let Miles Davis go and opted to not renew his contract because throughout 1949, his 9-piece nonet band hadn't sold, and those recordings wouldn't even get an album title until years later when they were compiled and called The Birth of the Cool. But that album is a story for another day, as in this video, I'm going to talk about The New Sounds, which was Miles Davis's first album as a frontman. Here's how he got there. So again, 1949, the Capitol sessions disappoint. 1950, no contract renewal. But in January 1951, one man had been listening closely, Bob Weinstock, who ran a small label called Prestige Records. And he was such a fan of that band that he tracked Davis down mid-tour while he was playing behind Billie Holiday in Chicago and signed him on the spot. 9 months later, Davis walked into a studio as a band leader for the first time in his career, and this is that record. The Session, October 5th, 1951, Apex Studios, 111 West 57th Street, Manhattan. Davis brought in a young rhythm section, Walter Bishop Jr. on piano, Tommy Potter on bass, Art Blakey on drums. On tenor sax, we have Sonny Rollins, and on alto sax, a 19-year-old Jackie McLean making his first ever recording. Also, we have an uncredited Charles Mingus for a track, and in the booth was none other than Charlie Parker, whom McLean later admitted to being rattled by his presence. Here's what made the record itself possible. Just 3 years earlier, Columbia had introduced microgroove technology, letting a 10-inch record hold up to 15 minutes of music per side. It meant that Davis could finally stretch a solo out on the record the way he already did in the clubs. The opening track, Conception, was written by pianist George Shearing, and this is the track where Charles Mingus quietly sat in. Davis later wrote that Mingus followed him to the studio with his bass and added some background, but couldn't appear on the credits because of a conflicting label contract. Then there's Dig, 7.5 minutes, the longest track on the record, credited to Davis, but Jackie McLean always said he wrote it and brought the tune to the session himself. When the album came out, Davis's name was on it instead. McLean thought about fighting for the credit. A lawyer told him it wasn't worth it, so he let it go. This reminds me of the Kind of Blue controversy I covered in a previous video about a writing credit dispute with Bill Evans on Blue and Green. On side 2 of the album, we have My Old Flame, stretched out slow across 6.5 minutes, and closing the album, an upbeat run through It's Only a Paper Moon. No one called it historic at the time. It was just Miles Davis's first album as a band leader, but of course it holds up to this day and is a solid album. Prestige catalog number PRLP 124. The full story's on the print. Link is in the bio. Thank you for watching.